welcome to this, and this is my review for WWE's Judgment Day. I am not dead. I am very much alive. I have just been crazy busy with work. My best friend got married this weekend, so and I was the best man, so I had all of that to deal with as well. Not really deal with, but, you know, I had stuff I had to do because of that. So the videos kind of had to take a backside that, and I just didn't have time. I was working pretty much every day, 50, 60 hours a week, and yeah, not fun stuff, particularly when you're working retail. So just kind of the way it's been. And just when I get home, I just want to veg, so I just haven't even been watching the stuff I've been wanting to watch, though I've been keeping track of everything and watching everything, and maybe I'll do like ROH Styles did and do kind of like block review of kind of the ROH shows and other things. But anyways, that's not why you guys are here. You guys are here for my WWE Judgment Day review. I thought this was a good pay-per-view. I'm probably giving it kind of a low score. Some people might feel I'm giving it high, but I wouldn't agree with those people at all. I thought this was good. I'm giving it a 7, only because there was stuff on here that I thought dragged on far too much, but that's just me being nitpicky. I think you could go as high as 8, maybe even higher than that, depending on how you like some things. So I definitely would say, you know, if you have time, or if it sounds like something you want, check it out. But I would say it's something you have to see, so there's that. But let's get started. We had Umaga versus CM Punk. This was, you know, I like both of these guys, so I probably like this maybe a little bit more than some people did. But I still thought this was a good match. CM Punk did lose, so I'm sure some people will be upset about that. But I don't even have a problem with it, only because even though it was CM Punk, you know, WWE is pretty big about, you know, hometown guys losing for whatever reason. They think that's a cool thing to do. But I think Umaga needed the win more than CM Punk, even though, you know, some people say, well, CM Punk kind of needed the win too. But I think Umaga needed the win more. I don't think it hurt CM Punk as much as Umaga needed the win. But, you know, but if anyone wanted to gripe about CM Punk losing, I don't find that completely off the wall either. But this was a good match. I thought it was booked pretty good, with Umaga dominating, looking like a monster, and CM Punk doing, you know, the little comebacks here and there. Kind of formulaic in a lot of ways, but it worked. The fans were definitely into it. They were definitely into CM Punk, so that was cool. And Umaga looked good. I think he's probably one of the most underrated guys in the WWE right now, so that was cool. So there we go. Next, we had Christian versus Jack Swagger for the ECW title. This was probably, I would say, their worst match that I wouldn't say necessarily that, but it just didn't have what a lot of their matches have had, I thought. But it was a lot of fun. It was enjoyable. I don't know what else these guys can really do. I did like the ending with Christian kind of being a better heel than Jack Swagger. I think that's, you know, kind of a cool little gimmick that they've been using. And I think it just sets up where they can do more of these matches. I think this is, you know, eventually people will probably get bored seeing them wrestle, but they have good enough chemistry with each other that I don't think people necessarily don't like to see them wrestle each other. And they definitely could wrestle a few more times before people really get tired of it. So I don't really have any problem with that. It's a good program for ECW. And if you haven't been watching SmackDown or ECW, you've been missing out on a lot. I definitely think those two shows have been rocking recently, and especially SmackDown, and yeah, so there is that, but pretty good match. I felt nothing horrible, very enjoyable. Next we had John Morrison versus Shelton Benjamin. This was pretty good. I like this as well, pretty much what you would expect. John Morrison did a I'm trying to think what it was. It was a springboard, I think it was I can't even remember what it was, to the outside, which was pretty just awesome to see, though he almost killed himself and Benjamin had to save him and from dying, so yay to Shelton for doing that. But overall this was a good match, maybe a little formulaic, probably not the, you know, fast-paced kind of spot fest that some people probably expected, but I don't think it needed to be that. I mean, this is still on the undercard. This wasn't for a title. It was just two guys kind of going at it. I think it served its purpose. You know, made John Morrison look good, and that was kind of the way it needed to be. Next, we had a MIZ segment, which normally I would complain about, about a segment like this being on the pay-per-view, but I do think it fit, only because they had been setting up, Miz and John Cena. He did take a stab at John Morrison as well, so that was good that it was right after the John Morrison match. Kind of went on for a little too long as a segment, though he gets mad props of being the second guy I've heard. I'm sure more people have done it, I just don't know. But who, called the fans out on still doing the what chant while he was talking. I saw Big Show do it once. I thought that was great. Miz did it. I thought that was even just as good, saying they sounded like ducks, which was kind of awesome, in my opinion. But he went a little long, called out the Cubs. They had a Cubs player there. He called him out. Basically said, he felt like, I believe he was 4-0 now. Or was it 3-0? 3-0 or 4-0 against John Cena. Which kind of play, they've been playing this up, so I had no problem with that being on the pay-per-view, though it did run long. Then Santino came out. It kind of went downhill from there, but it was still kind of funny. Santino was being Santino. Probably a extremely long segment that went probably too long. At the end, Miz attacked Santino, laid Santino out. Then Chavo Guerrero came out because earlier in the show, Edge had called out Chavo saying, what have you done, about the guy, about the cross-dresser that, called your aunt a pig. And so Chavo attacked Santino, so that's probably setting up something like there. This would make a very good Raw segment, though it was probably too long to be a Raw segment. Though I do think it went a little long, so there we go there. Next we had Rey Mysterio versus Chris Jericho. This, in my opinion, was the match of the night. A very good match. Very cool, with Chris Jericho even going after Rey's mask, something we haven't seen, I don't remember seeing it. Guys have probably done it, but it hasn't been, like, you remember it. But it was just, and the fans were very, very over, or I shouldn't say over, but into this match. They were into Chris Jericho, but they were, not really booing Rey either. They were just enjoying the match, I think, and they liked both guys, and it was kind of just cool to see both guys just go out there and have a really good match and give them the time and all of that. Rey went over. Don't have any problems with that. I think they booked it in a way that keeps, the whole Chris Jericho conspiracy thing going. And good stuff from there. Then we get into the bad stuff on this pay-per-view. Randy Orton versus Batista. This was fairly uneventful, boring, and ended in a screw job on top of that. With Legacy coming out, attacking Batista, and then Ric Flair, who actually kind of saved this match in a way, came out, saved Batista, because one guy can beat all of Legacy for whatever reason. But it was cool. The fans were very much into that part of it. It did make the match kind of memorable. Kind of made it, if you're going to do a screw job, they stuck it far enough. Even though these were two bigger name guys, they stuck it far enough down the card where, you don't feel like you were gypped, and it kind of progressed the story. It did all the things that a screwjob ending should definitely do, so I have no problems with that. I think it actually kind of made the match in the end when Flair came out a little better, so I'll give it 2 stars. It was okay. Next we had the Big Show versus John Cena. This was boring. I shouldn't say boring, but this was not a good match at all. The ending was good, but this was plodding. This was slow. The fans were very much into this match, though, which just makes me think that, Big Show and Cena just weren't clicking tonight for whatever reason. But, or I just wasn't into the match. I don't know. But it was kind of boring, kind of plodding, just kind of there, I felt. The ending was cool, but it was what it was, but not a very good match at all. Then we had Edge versus Jeff Hardy. This was good. Good spots, somewhat fast-paced, what you would expect from these guys. I thought it wasn't quite as good as it should have been. There was a run-in with Matt attacking Jeff, which kind of played into the ending, but not, kind of in the way that, I like to see a screw job kind of play into the ending where it plays, but not really. And I guess we're going to see more of Jeff and Matt. On top of that, it was just, I don't know, there was something missing from this match. I don't know, even though I had a cool spot with Edge spearing Jeff through off a table through one of the barriers, which was just, I can't even explain. It was awesome. It really made me go, wow, pop really hard. Something I usually don't do during a WWE pay-per-view, really, or you know, just not something I expected. It was played pretty well. So I get props for that. But I don't know, there was just something missing for me on this match. Not quite sure what it was, but it was good, but not great. There was nothing great on this pay-per-view, but there was a lot of good stuff. There was nothing offensive. I think even the segment with Miz, while long and not good and not a pay-per-view quality segment, was still a okay segment and didn't hurt the pay-per-view too bad. It was just too long for whatever reason. They could have given, you know, particularly Shelton and Benjamin and Morrison more time. They probably could have given Punk and Umaga was probably long enough. They probably could have given Swagger and Christian some more time too, instead of this being as long as it was. But it was what it was. But not a bad pay-per-view. You know, if WWE is going to do kind of their off, you know, kind of throwaway pay-per-views, I guess I'd rather it be this. As this was still good, it was still enjoyable. I think you know, some people could watch this and really like it. I think some people could watch it and just think it was just kind of okay and kind of a throwaway pay-per-view. But there's good enough stuff on here that it was enjoyable. It was fun. I think this and then how they did Backlash, I hope they keep that up because I really like kind of that format for the pay-per-views. You know, SmackDown and ECW definitely delivered on this pay-per-view where the Raw matches really didn't, which is indicative of the TV, where I think Raw has not been very good and SmackDown and ECW have been, so there is that. But overall, that's pretty much it. Not a great pay-per-view, but a good pay-per-view. Some people, like I said, will probably like it more. I could see some people not liking as much, but I wouldn't pay too much attention to those people. But myself, just my thoughts. But anyways, like I said, hopefully I will be back with some more videos this week. I still want to do King Trios 09, so there is that. So with that, I'm out. Later.